Okay, y'all, I know I'm so sorry. I've been gone for a long time, but I'm working on being more consistent. If you're still subscribed to me, thank you so much. But that's not the reasoning behind this video. As you can tell from the title of my video, I want to discuss the mass shootings that occurred this weekend. But I want to talk about a different perspective. I kind of want to check on you guys on your mental states, and I want to discuss how this has affected me mentally. And I know that I'm not alone, obviously. It's one thing to have anxiety, but then it's another thing to have anxiety based on experiences or trauma, and then that leads to social anxiety. These mass shootings that occur, they are disgraceful, they're gruesome, they're absolutely an embarrassment for America, for us as Americans. And it's so ironic that I have this shirt, this American flag on. That's crazy. But this is a Hendrix shirt. Like, I'm not like... Anyways, where do we start, you guys? A lot of things occurred for me personally. But then I ran across the news about the shooting in Ohio and Texas and California. It's sad. You have to be under a rock to know that America is very divided. No matter your political affiliations, your political beliefs, your moral compass, your religious standards. I think at this point, if you are willing to blame anything rather than pure evil and a lack of gun control for these mass shootings, then you're just being, it's past ignorance. You're just stupid. Ignorance is when you don't know better. Some of you know better. Some of you know what's up. I don't feel like talking about that right now. I want to do a mental health check-in. My anxiety has already been on like a straight up 8, you know? Thank God it hasn't been a 10, but it has been a steady 8 for the past week. This weekend it was a 10. It was severe, like I mentioned, for personal reasons. But I'm scared to go to the concert, the Lizzo concert in September. I'm scared to go to music festivals at parks. I'm scared to go to cookouts, public cookouts, public events, rallies. I'm scared to go to Walmart. I'm scared to go to Lowe's. I'm scared. And I know a lot of people say, that's what these shooters want. They want for you to be afraid to leave your house. Or I know people say, well, you can die in your home invasion. Anything can happen. Your house can catch on fire. So don't use this as an excuse to be afraid. But it's something different. It's a different type of anxiety when you already deal with anxiety. When you already take medicine for anxiety like me. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. When you already struggle on a daily basis to keep from having panic attacks, it's a different type of anxiety. Older generations they can be so judgmental toward my generation. I'm a millennial. And then the generation behind me, who is my nephew and his counterparts, who is Gen Z. They're so judgmental because they're like, oh, you guys are weak. You can't handle things. When I was your age, stop right there. When you were my age, you didn't have bulletproof backpacks. My nephew has to deal with that. Both of them. 1-year-old nephew, he ain't even in school yet. When you were my age, it wasn't easier to get a gun rather than a homeowner's loan. When you were my age. When you were my age, you didn't graduate with a bachelor's and immediately be in crippling debt to where even if you had a full-time job that wasn't in your major, you were still practically forced to work a second job just to make ends meet. You weren't having to go through that when you were my age. Do y'all get the examples? Do y'all get where I'm going? The type of anxiety that people my age, and just the type of anxiety period in this modern world, is so different. We are dealing with pure evilness. Beyond this capitalist society and the social hierarchies and economic reasons, besides that, let's just talk about the pure evil. The way I see some people, the way they look at me, the way they interact with me, and it's driven by racism. The way I hear people talk about the Latinx community, the way people have no regards to children that are locked in cages, the way people make excuses for a president who was clearly racist. Let me tell you something. You don't have to say nigger to be racist. Your actions can speak louder than any word that you murmur. Period. So I say all that because I keep going on different tangents. My coping mechanisms for my anxiety are breathing exercises. Not becoming agoraphobic, which is the fear of being in public spaces. And I'm not going to allow fear to dictate my life. I already deal with phobias of dogs and cats. I already deal with, anxiety relative to that. I can't take anymore. You guys, we all can't take anymore. We're only human. It's only so much we can take. I see when things like this happen, and when it's a white male that is doing these shootings, mental health is brought up. And people want to say, well, he needed help. He wasn't on his medicine. He was mentally ill. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. It's not a thin line. There's a huge difference. Hear me out. There's a huge difference between being mentally ill, having a mental illness, having a mental health condition, whatever you want to call it. It's the difference between that and just being pure evil. I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder too. I'm diagnosed with depression, manic depression. I'm diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Those are mental illnesses. But I'm not evil. I would never take one of my dad's hunting rifles and go to Walmart and shoot Hispanic people because I hate them. First of all, I don't hate people. It's just not in my character makeup. It's not how I was raised. It's not how I choose to live my life. Stop blaming the causes of these mass shootings, the causes of these evil demons. Stop blaming their actions on mental illness, because you're just building the stigma that people like me who live with mental illnesses are trying to shatter. We're not all evil. We're not evil. Even when we're not on our medicine, even when we're not in therapy, even when we're, you know, going through our manic episodes, we're not evil. Mental illness does not equal evil. Get that through your head. So don't use mental health as a crutch to negate or to run away from the real issue as to why we're having these horrific mass shootings. It's too much. It's too much. And you wonder why the growing rate of people with mental health conditions is rising. Traumatic events like this lead to PTSD. Okay? It leads to anxiety. People have went through their whole life, 30, 40 years, never knowing what anxiety feels like. But because of situations like this, they're having to deal with panic attacks and they don't know what the hell is going on. Because they don't even know that it is a panic attack. When you are having a panic attack, for those of you who've never had one, it feels like a heart attack. You don't know what is going on. You can't catch your breath. The shortness of breath is so scary. So my heart goes out to people who are unfortunately being introduced to anxiety. Our society doesn't care about us. Society doesn't care about each other. And because we lack empathy and understanding overall, and because people are so headstrong on being selfish, rather than taking a moment, stepping back, and thinking about everyone as a community. And by everyone, I don't mean just people that look like you, that believe like you, that think like you, that speak the same language as you. I'm talking about it as a community. The main objective of this video is to let you know that mental illness does not equal evil. Learn to separate the two. I'm not advocating, people that I surround myself are not advocating against stigmas attached to mental health conditions just for the hell of it. When things like this happen, it's great that y'all want to bring up mental health, but that's not the root cause of these mass shootings. Who's to say that it can be a component? Maybe it can. But these bastards are evil. Period. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.